American Dave Waddle in the 800-meter finals, the 1972 Summer Olympics. Frank Reich and the Buffalo Bills over the Houston Oilers in the 1993 AFC wildcard game. The Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees in the 2004 American League Championship Series. Philadelphia Flyers over the Boston Bruins in the 2010 NHL Eastern Conference Finals. All of these things share one common denominator. None of them are as great a comeback as that of 81-92, the truth.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom.
What is up, everybody? We are back. We are back, and we are better than ever. We took some time. We retooled. We left you in the dark, but we are back. 81-92, the truth. Live, in your face, better than ever, with more truth than ever, more knowledge for you to stuff between your ears, and changing your lives forever. We're back.
Welcome back, everybody, to 8192 The Truth. My name is Lad Supernaut, and we are live in Portland, Oregon. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the return of Joel, the Godfather Supernaut, and his co-host, Kevin, Brother Sin, Sinir.
All right, thank you, Lad. So what just happened? I'm going to give you real time. Lad did a bit, and Lad's always a part of everything, and I was basically directing him to go, and he didn't go, so I had to stop, and we had to go again. But he stole my welcome back because it's supposed to be welcome, everybody. Anyway, welcome back. Where have I been, and what is going on? That is the question of the day. So I want to tell you a story, and we're going to line it in together. Is when I was out in Kansas City, a gentleman worked at the water district, and they had these huge yellow shirts. I like the shirt. The guy got me too. So they turned out to be really comfortable, really soft shirts that I wear. I lost one of them, so I had one, and it's kind of become my favorite shirt. So last week it was the wash time of the yellow shirt. So I washed it. I had my yellow shirt on, and I made Miss Jennifer and Lad dinner. And the way I made them dinner was I went to the barbecue joint here in Portland, Oregon, and I bought all the barbecue, and I came back. So I spilled barbecue on my shirt. And man, it was an hour out of clean. So the shirt is completely clean. It's 100% clean. Well, it's not 100% clean. It's got a barbecue sauce stain on it. And I sit there and I'm like, I got two options. Pitch the shirt, get the stain out of it, wash it, or just wear it. It's got a barbecue stain on it. So what? Just wear it. And I decided to wear it. I just decided to wear it. Went through the day, and yeah, there was a couple spots there. I was like, I'm sure people are looking at this stain on my shirt. Nobody ever came up to me and punched me in the face. Nobody stopped doing what they were doing. If they looked at the big fool with the barbecue stain on his shirt, big yellow shirt, they just kept it to themselves. And I thought, me and Kevin had been talking about firing this thing back up, but I had a big problem. Big problem is I've ballooned back up to 280 pounds. And, 8192 The Truth is supposed to be about health. Well, if it's my show and I'm 280 pounds, there's not a lot of healthy living going on. So instead of doing what I always do, is torturing myself to become a person that I think is good enough to give advice, be a part of society, go do anything, I just decided to wear it. I decided to wear it, and this is what it is. I'm going to, obviously, I can't go any higher. So with the theory of one day in and one day out, I'm one day in. I'm one day in, and I'm gonna get back to doing what I like to do, which is doing a podcast. I'm also going to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time. I've wanted to do this for a long, long time. I wanted to unplug. For years and years and years, I have been doing the exact same thing. I cannot tell you how much time I waste in the portion of a day going to Facebook a million different times for what I have no idea. Twitter, whatever, a bunch of times. I get several, every day I get several messages, whether it be, loved your show or advice or this, that, and the other. I always respond to it. Now, when I was on Chill Sonnen's podcast, there was a lot more of that. There was a part of thinking I was better and bigger than I was. So, I spent more and more time on it. My news, I go to ESPN. I go to themat.com. Now that I finally broke down and paid for the Flow Wrestling thing, I go to Flow Wrestling, Cubs.com, and then MMA Weekly. MMA Fighting and MMA Mania. Those are the places I go. Now, I could go to every single one of those places in a period less than 30 minutes. Every one of those places that I mentioned to you, I could go in one day to all of them in 30 minutes. I probably spend 30 minutes a day just going to them, just cycling on my phone. It's just such a horrible, horrible habit, and I'm done with it. I'm 100%. I'm not 90% done with it. I'm 100% done with it. I am off of social media because it's a waste of my time. If I can just sit, because I'm going to have a lot more time. I'm going to have a lot more time to either do one or two things. To do nothing. To sit and reflect on, I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything right now. And transfer that to, okay, how about if I do this? How about if I do that? I have a goal sheet. Why don't I work on one of my goals? Instead of cycling and cycling and cycling. I'm out. One of the things that I've always done is I've always responded to everybody, whether it was a tweet or a message or a this or a that. I'm done with that too. But the good news is we are going to a live show once a week that you're going to be able to call in. You want to talk to me, you're going to be able to call in. We'll have that set up and the phone number set up through the next couple of shows. Once a week, you're going to be able to call in during the show, same time, every week, and talk to me. Ask me about anything. I'll wear it. I'll wear it just like the barbecue stain. It doesn't always have, we have a big MMA base, but we've got to have more interest in that. What are our kids doing? What is our family doing? What are our friends doing? Me and Lad started going to church about 10 weeks ago. That's been a really cool experience. The church experience itself has been a really cool experience. And, I've been wanting to unplug for so long. And now I'm going to use this as an opportunity to finally do it, to be done with it. Do I suggest you do the same? To a certain degree, yes. If you have a problem spending time on social media, yeah, quit doing it. If you have to limit yourself, quit doing it. Am I a hypocrite having a show that goes on to, not really. It's a platform out there. You'll either listen or not. I don't really care. I don't care. I know that I have a solid base of people that like to listen to me because I wear it. Whatever it is, I'll wear it. And the one of the last things I did, I went out to, and I did it by accident. I already knew, me and Kevin knew we were going to come back. We were going to do things a little bit differently this time around. And I went out to dinner the other day with Chael Sonnen, Lad, and it just so happened there was a gentleman named Rick Bell, who I know, and his son Ricky Bell at the same spot. So we all had dinner together. And Ricky Bell was getting ready to go to the Oklahoma State wrestling camp that I went to when I was a kid. And I was really excited about that. So the majority of the dinner was me and little Ricky just talking. Well, Chael, being the social etiquette person he is Rick Bell had said, "Hey, Lad's going to start wrestling. I'll put you on the email list, da-da-da-da-da." And Chael thought that I should have stopped what I was doing, made a big deal about it, and I didn't. I was talking to this guy's son, and if somebody was in the same position giving my son attention, I would have thought that was pretty cool. But maybe Chael was right, etiquette-wise. I should have, stopped. Hey, thank you very much for that, da-da-da-da-da. So I never tweet Chael. I never tweet him anything. But I think Rick Bell's a Facebook guy. He's one of my Facebook friends. So this was going to be my way of kind of thanking Rick Bell for whatever it was that I missed. So what I did was I tweeted at Chael Sonnen, "Thanks for dinner. It was great talking wrestling with young Ricky Bell." That was it. Nothing about nothing. Well, so the way my Twitter is set up, the Twitter goes straight to the Facebook. And in a matter of 24 hours, it had one of the biggest responses that anything I've said in the last 2 years. And that reason was, the only reason anything was, is because Chael Sonnen's famous. It had his name in there. So people trying to get on the fame tip jumped on it, liked it, talked about it, this, that, and the other. That was blaring to me. It was so blaring to me because recently, very, very good friend of mine, Dick Paraday, lifelong friend of mine, got in a motorcycle accident. Now it was 3 weeks ago. Well, all sorts of people on social media had talked about him and mentioned this, and the real life thing, guy battling for his life. And I will tell you, 21 days later, he's not 100% returned, but it looks like he will get there, and that's a miracle. But my point is that out of all of the different things that were written on Facebook, none of them garnered as much Feibu attention as one line with the famous guy attached to it, Chael Sonnen. That's our problem. That is social media's problem. Social media is ruining all of us. It's ruining us. Go out anywhere. Go to the coffee shop. Coffee shop's probably the worst, but you can pick anywhere you're at. A lot of you listen to this at the gym. Look around you. Everybody's on their phone. Wherever you are listening to this podcast, everybody is on their phone and they're glued in. They're glued in because somebody is famous. And somebody's talking to them that's famous. It could be a Chael Sonnen or it could be them. They are famous within their group. And they need to hear what somebody else is saying or respond to it that thus makes them famous. It's an absolute waste of time, and it's ruining us. It's making bullies out of all of us. All of us are we are living in glass houses with this social media nonsense. Most of us are keeping up with the Joneses. I tell you what I've done with Facebook, which has been my biggest form of communication, is I showed everybody my hero, who was Ladd. I videoed his life, and I kept people up to speed on Ladd's life. And Ladd, in truth, could be very inspirational to a lot of people. He he's got a great attitude. He's got a great soul. He's beaten autism. He is beating autism. The older he gets, the more lessons I learned from him. But what I did was I used that as a therapy to show people, hey, he's going to be okay. Tell me how great my son is. I need more. I need more people to tell me how great my son is, so I will then believe it. I will then in turn tell you how great your son is. I will tell you how great your granddaughter is. I will tell you how great everything that you do is. And over the course of, I would say, the last 10 years of being linked into this Facebook population, it has brought me as little as it possibly could in true interaction with people. I think all of the people that I've connected with over the last 10 years through Facebook, I would have connected to them anyway. I want to wear this as it is to me, because Facebook can, if you're responsible with it, go to Facebook, check in, look around, and get gone. But it should not, Facebook should not take up very much of your time. I've went on vacations with Facebook. I've went on vacations and FaceTimed and pictured and done all of this other nonsense, as opposed to shutting it all off and enjoying the vacation. My best friend on this planet, better than Ladd, better than anybody, better than God, better than anybody, for the last 10 years has been this phone. Because it's right next to me and it's always on and I'm always doing something on it. To say anybody has been more important to me than my phone, in actions, not emotions, in actions, I'd be lying, wouldn't I? If more time is spent on this phone than doing anything else, that is the most important thing in the world to me. I don't want to live the rest of my life like that. I do not want to live the rest of my life like that. I suggest you don't you don't live the rest of your life like that. And if you're like me, if you're wearing it and you want to make some changes, unplug, man. Unplug. I want to talk about this bully aspect of social media. They're not supposed to talk about politics. Boy, am I not supposed to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about politics. President of the United States is the biggest social media bully on the planet. Maybe not on the planet, but in the United States. No matter what, if you cannot admit whether you are pro-Trump and everything he does is awesome, and he's being strong, and he's doing all these great things for the economy, and he's man enough to do the right thing, and he said he would do the right blah blah blah, whatever it is. Or if you don't like him, he's a bully. He's a social media bully, and that's sad. That's sad. He shouldn't be. If the President of the United States is a social media bully, how can anyone else not be? How can we tell our kids not to? The President of the United States is a social media bully. My son Lad played a year of baseball, and I've come to realize how these kids interact, and not just the kids on Lad's baseball team. This past week, the Lonzo Ball and another player for the Los Angeles Lakers, they were caught up in bullying each other on social media. It's a part of the climate, and it shouldn't be. Bullying in any manner is wrong. I've done it. I'll wear it. I've done all sorts of it. I've said all sorts of snide comments on Facebook or Twitter or text or anything to be better than somebody else in that particular situation. That's wrong. That's bullying. I'll wear it. That's what's happening with social media. It is an avenue to be better than everybody else, to be the same as everybody else, to be famous. And it's just a waste of time, man. It is just a waste of time. I have had an opportunity to listen to a lot of different podcasts, radio shows over the last couple months. I don't think I was doing any research, but when you're struggling with something, when you're thinking about something, when you're trying to find the answer to something, I guess everything that leads you to the answer is research. So I'll go ahead and say that I have been doing quite a bit of research on things. And what I've realized is, and this is being open, and it is being honest, and it is wearing it. If you are popular and you are famous, you will have a rather large audience, even if the product that you give is garbage. One of the things, I'm an MMA fan. I'm an MMA fan. So I've went to listen to different MMA podcasts, different sporting podcasts. I cannot believe how bad the product is. How the same is all of the product. Everybody is beaten on the same topic, and nobody has a different point of view. When it gets really, really bad, see, here's one thing that I do know. Oil and water does not mix. And people think it does. When you put a comedian on a show with a fighter and think because the comedian has an audience and the fighter has an audience, it's automatically gonna mix. Man, it doesn't. The only reason you listen to that garbage is because that person's famous. That's it. Nobody's getting any better by listening to that. Nobody's picking up any inside information listening to a comic and a former fighter talk. Am I being hypocritical? Do I? It is so bad I can't get through it. And the only reason you listen to it is because those people are famous. And you want to tell your friends, hey, I listened to that fame show, making him famous. All this big social media BS fame bit. The social experiment that I did, social experiment that I did on Facebook. whether it lasted 24 hours or 5 years, is the same. I'm right. It's true. The more famous I get, the more popular I get. I don't want to say famous because I'm not famous. The more influence I have. And the way you get influence is you have people click on your show. The higher I go up in the iTunes polls or this, that, and the other, the better it will be for you to tell your friends you listen to me on social media, through whatever else avenue, because you've drank the Kool-Aid. You may not know you've drank the Kool-Aid, but you did. If I say something here that is pertinent, then it's pertinent. It makes sense. If I say something that entertains you, it's entertaining. If everything I say is garbage, it's garbage. Don't listen to me. Everybody's doing the same thing. Quit being a sheep. If you can't get something that is useful and pertinent and entertaining to you, shut it off. If they keep doing it, don't go back. It's mindless. I'm done. I won't know. I won't know unless you tell me, unless you call in and tell me. Because I'm going to quit justifying thoughts in my life based on tweets or Facebook posts from people that I don't know. Share this, share that. How about I read a book? How about I go to my goal set and concentrate on my goals? How about I spend some more time with Lad, with my son? That seems like that would be a healthy thing to do. That would be being honest and truthful. 8192 The Truth. Me and Lad have been getting into it lately because Lad's grown up and he's at a stage in his life where there's autism that he still has, and then there's just being a teenager. And I'm so proud of him because years ago, just a little while ago, any form of criticism would really, really put him in a bad spot. And he's not there anymore. And I'm so thankful. We're doing a bunch of really cool stuff this summer, Lad and I, and I'm excited for it. Lad is not glued in to the Twitter and the Facebook. He does probably spend too much time cycling through that computer, and hopefully I can help him change that. The fame tip, man, quit listening to garbage. If this show is garbage, if you've given it an honest try and you don't like it, bury it. Quit wasting your time. But do that to everybody. Don't listen to his show because you used to like it. Don't listen to his show because it's that time of your day and do something else. Unplug. Do something for yourself. Because at the end of the day and the end of your time, the biggest regret you will have is regret. I guarantee all of us, 100% of us, if we don't get wiped out of the blue through a car crash or this, that, and the other, if we walk that final lonely mile at an older age or whatever it is, we are 100% of us, unless we're just selfish, narcissistic people that don't care about anything but ourselves. We are going to regret all this time we were plugged into nothing. We are. So I take a stand. I wear it. I take a stance that I am unplugging. Doesn't mean I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to change my show so you can call in and talk to Kevin and I once a week. We will have that information for you shortly in the next few shows. Now, have I beat the drum enough? Have I painted a new picture? Is it reverberating with any of you? Am I crazy? Are you guys saying, no, man? No. Have you already tweeted 5 times or made a Facebook post, this is what he's going to do? Have you already, while you've been listening to this show, cycled through your phone 9 different times to check on Twitter to put a tweet in? Because I know you can listen to and still do other things. We are so connected. We are so connected. Imagine if we spent a quarter of the energy we do on this nothingness that is social media and put it to a good cause. Yeah, we'd change. Whether it was our life or somebody else's life, it would change. Now, let's talk about sports. Let's talk about sports for a second. Mixed martial arts, I've been gone for a little bit, and I don't think, not much has changed. The Grandmaster Flash, Conor McGregor, has not come back to fight. I think one of my last shows was when he threw the dolly through the bus. Yeah, there's not much that has changed on that. I can tell you, I've been hotter than a pistol picking fights for the past 4 months. I'm at 85% if I'm anywhere. We've got a huge fight coming up. Me and Kevin will get together and talk about mixed martial arts, but the truth is, not much has changed. Conor's gone, and nobody's filling up the void. We got a guy named Colby Covington who, I will have to tell you, he got me. He got me. I was just like everybody else. I was rooting for him to lose so bad and to shut that bad guy up, this, that, and the other. And I realized he got me. That was his point. Is his gimmick bad? I don't like it, but does it draw a response? Yeah. He got the response he wanted out of me and my son. We both hate him. But I tell you what, that fighting style is something to look at. That pressure is amazing. We have not seen that kind of pressure. Only a few times have we seen that kind of pressure. You can go back and look and count on who puts that kind of pressure on somebody. When Chael was winning all his fights and is now on a new run, his pressure, he's got that constant pressure. It's so hard to deal with. If you can walk through the punches and put that pressure on somebody, you're going to make it. You're going to make it a long way. There's not a lot of guys that can beat him. Did he get Tyrone Woodley? Yeah, he most certainly did. Tyrone Woodley slow played it all the way until Kobe had a big enough audience. Kobe had a big enough pulpit. Kobe was cool enough and famous enough, or the median he was on was cool enough and famous enough that he then had to respond to it. He didn't think about it. He could have done a lot better. You know, I'm going to beat the guy up. I'm going to beat him so bad. I've never wanted to beat somebody up. I've got these texts, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 all this other nonsense. Man, Tyrone, you're better than that. You are the champ. Instead of doing that, you should have just no-played it. Just no-played it would have been better than responding to it and this, that, and the other, in my opinion. We've got a great fight coming up shortly, which is DC and Stipe. I'm rooting for Stipe, even though I like DC. We had a great fight. One of the greatest fights ever is that Robert Whittaker fighting Yoel Romero. I mean, I actually predicted Romero was going to miss weight. I didn't think he'd get that close. There's a miss going on with that guy, but he sure can fight. I think he could be a champ at 205 pounds. He's 41 years old, but if in fact that is a natural human being, That is one of the most physically gifted athletes that any of us have ever had an opportunity to watch. So I love Robert Whittaker. I want to quit watching those two fight. It's taxing. When you're rooting for Robert Whittaker and he's fighting the boogeyman, it is very taxing as a fan. So I'd like to see those guys move on. The women's division, there's a 125-pound weight class and there's a 145-pound weight class. And I challenge you to name 5 fighters in each weight class. Do it now. Do it right now. I can't name 545-pounders. Let me try. Megan Anderson and Holly Holm, they just fought. Cyborg, and that gal's name I can't pronounce. 125 pounds. I do not know who the champ is. She won the weight class through one of the Ultimate Fighters, and Valentino Shevchenko is at that weight class, and the reason that is somewhere within my waste of time yesterday, I happened upon the Bullets pictures. I went to Instagram and I learned these things. Did it make me any better? The 5 minutes I spent wasting my time learning that? No, it didn't. It didn't. I would have been better off not doing nothing and in that time thinking about doing something. So as always, the show will continue. We will talk about a lot of mixed martial arts. Let me bring you up to Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is a passion of mine. I love the Cubs. Lad loves the Cubs. Well, we're going to have to figure out how to go to a game this year. Too bad the Cubs don't play the Mariners. The Mariners are 20 games over 500. There's 4 teams in the American League 20 games over 500. Boston Red Sox, defending champs, Houston Astros, New York Yankees, and Seattle Mariners. First time that's ever happened in Major League Baseball history that 4 teams from the same league were 20 games over 500 before the All-Star break. That means there's a lot of bad teams in that league. In the National League, there's more parity. The Cubs, Brewers have the best record in baseball at the National League, and they're only a half game ahead of the Cubs. And that's right around the 597, 600 area. So that won't quite get the team 100 wins. Great year, but there is a lot of parity in the National League, and that scares me. I want the Cubs to run away with it. I want them to have the most talented team. They do not have the most talented team, but it is a long season. It is a long, long, long season. Very rarely will a team go pillar to post like the Cubs did in 2016. Everybody was picking them because they came out of the blue in 2015, and they had the new coach and all of the hustle, and man, they made it, and they changed my life. I was there, Game 5. It was a beautiful thing. So Major League Baseball, if I was a betting man, you'd be crazy not to take those Yankees. You'd be crazy not to take those Yankees. I am hoping the Cubs pull some strings near the trade deadline and give us an honest opportunity. And to have an honest opportunity, you need 2 knockout, drag down starters. And right now we only have one, which is John Lester. So the teams that have 2 or even 3 starters that could pitch a no-hitter at any game, you got a better chance. Or you got to blast the baseball. Everybody be on at the same time. So hopefully the Cubs will pick up some people. Right around the corner is NCAA football. It is a huge, huge sport. We're right back where we were a year ago. Not quite a year. And that topic was, legalized slavery is what the NCAA athletics is. It's horrible. It hadn't changed a bit in the last year. I'm going to buy right into it here in a couple more weeks. And I think 79 more days. I know that because one of every single day, a part of my wasted time on social media is Dos Leprechauns lets me know how many days it is until Notre Dame football starts again. So there you go. About 78 days from that, I'll be all in watching NCAA football. Olympic wrestling, world. When I mean Olympic wrestling, is freestyle and Greco-Roman wrestling. Man, USA Wrestling, they just can't get it right. They keep trying so hard. They keep trying so hard to get it right. And they used to, the U.S. Opens used to be the biggest wrestling tournament in the world for the Open seniors. But that's all there was. There was I think they used to do a veterans on one day, and then it was opens. It was the Open Freestyle and Greco tournament. And it was, aside from the NCAA wrestling tournament, it was the biggest wrestling tournament of the year. They've dummied that up. They've made it 100 different weight classes. 100. They've made it a cash cow, an entry fee cash cow, by having every age group in the world be able to go to the wrestling tournament. The seniors too, the veterans, everybody, and different styles. I think they started doing grappling there too. It's been ridiculous. They can't get it right. Fighting has gotten it right because more people are watching fighting than ever would they watch Olympic style wrestling. This is a world championship year. They've went ahead and did something called the Final X or the Elite X or something where they promoted. They've just gotten it wrong. They've just gotten it wrong. Every single time they come close to getting it right, they jump the shark. They're trying to do weigh-ins and walkout music, and it's just bad. It's just bad. It's like a bunch of high school kids doing a school project, where the project might be good for a high school class to get you an A. It's obvious that you had a start and a finish, you had a goal in mind, and you achieved that goal. The only thing any wrestling does right, the only thing any wrestling that I know of personally that has gotten it right is the NCAA wrestling championships. So if you want wrestling to grow, and you want it to continue to grow, man, everybody needs to get on the same page and quit dummying up yourself. Having two guys walk out to music that takes 20 seconds because that's what the fighters do to make a world team. Man, it's cringy. It's for me to say cringy makes me cringy. But watching that was a little tough. You have to do backstories. You have to find out who these guys are, what they are sacrificing. Not very many of them have a plan in the future if it doesn't plan on being a wrestling coach. Nothing wrong with being a wrestling coach. Fighters are very similar. At the end of the fighter's career, what can they do? The shine's gone. Once that shine's gone, there's only a few of them that ever stay famous once the shine's gone and make a living in that stadium, in that sphere. So, man, try to get it right. Don't take the easy way out. And now, to finish up my portion of the comeback show, throw it over to my partner, Brother Sin, Kevin Sinier. I think we're all going to agree with this next topic. In Connecticut, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe less than that, the first place finisher in both the 100-yard dash or 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash in the women's state champion and women's second place finisher were transgendered. I don't know enough about this and to know what is the politically correct way to explain this, so I will explain it through what science is. In science, you are either a man or you're a woman. Okay? If you want to transfer to the other side, well, you can do it, but science isn't going to go along with that. This isn't my religious belief. This is just I'm just staying to science on that. So, if I've decided, me, Joel, as a man, that science has indicated that I'm a man, I've decided that I need to be a woman. I'm going to transfer and become a woman. Okay, that's my right. But I also lose several privileges. I can't compete in the men's. I can't compete in any men's competition because I'm no longer a man. And I can't compete in a woman's competition because science will not allow me to. I am not a man. I am not a woman. So this isn't a political statement. It's a science statement. The third place finisher in Connecticut was a woman. She trained all her life to be a state champ, and she should have had that opportunity. She should have been a state champ. That's the truth. That is the absolute truth. I am 100% correct on that. My son comes home and says that I'm not tolerant of transgendered. I don't even know what that means. I do not know what that means. Do you know why? Do you know why this has gotten to where it is? Why these school shootings keep going on? Why this world keeps changing at a ridiculous pace? It's because of that goddamn social media. Pull it out, man. Unplug it. Get rid of it. Don't tell me you need it for your business. Online businesses for years and years and years before social media became prevalent. You look at the advertising dollar, where it's spent at. It's spent because we're all fools. We're all wasting our time. Not me. I'm out. I am unplugged. Throwing it over to you, Brother Sin. Wrap this up. Guys, we will be talking to you. We'll probably have a couple more of these. And then I'll have the 800 number for you. And we'll have our show once a week, live with me and Brother Sin. Call-in show. Tell me how you're doing. I'm going to start getting back down. Day by day. Day in or day out. Peace.